What's up, YouTube? Smyrna Backwoods Arm Defense here with you. Got another gun review, and I think you're going to be pretty excited about this one. This is probably the hottest selling gun right now in September 2017. Maybe a fall 2017. We'll see how that works out. It is the Mossberg Shockwave. So it's a Mossberg 500. It's a 14-inch barrel. Let's go ahead and start with the barrel because that's what everybody is looking at going, man, this gun is tiny. 14-inch barrel, but overall length is 26.5. So it's classified as a firearm. You do not need a Class 3 form for this gun. You can go down, fill out your regular form, background check, money, take it home very same day. This is Dad's. He just got this. He's got a better bankroll than I do. But it's not a very expensive gun. When I say that, it just means he can get guns faster than I can. Price point is probably no more than $500. I was gonna say like $460, $400. I think I've seen it $380, like $384 before taxes. Very inexpensive. So with it being a Mossberg, you get all the Mossberg kind of similarities. You have the thumb safety. A lot of people like that as to the push button. I don't have a problem with either. I like both. The pump has a nylon strap held by 4 Phillips head screws. Just kind of keep your hand from sliding off of it because of it having not a pistol grip, but I've heard people call it a duck head grip. If that's what it's called, then yeehaw. If not, if I'm wrong, then just let me know what the grip's actually called. But I heard somebody call it a duck head grip once, so that's kind of what I've ran with. If you can imagine, a pistol grip is more vertical or horizontal. Vertical. Straight up and down. When you get a recoil, you get a lot of muzzle flip. A lot of people have been hit in the face, but with the duck-headed grip, just by holding, if you're trying to aim actually down the bead sight, the front sight, the nice little brass bead there, you get more of your elbow is a little more up than if you had a pistol grip. You get a different purchase on the gun, and you get a more linear recoil, and it's a little more manageable. If you wanted to be, Hercules and try to hold it one hand, it's got a pretty good weight to it, so holding it one hand's kind of a challenge. But if you're having fun out at the gun range, you could possibly hold it and shoot it one-handed. Great truck gun. I just recently got a Remington 870 Marine Magnum, which I'm going to do a video on later. But this right here would be the preferred truck gun. If you're like Dad and you're one of those people that want to put a rail to add a laser or some type of sight at the top, it's drilled and tapped for that. So obviously that's one of the modifications Dad's done to his. And we'll go over those modifications because there's a few other on here that needs to be addressed. But the gun itself is a 12 gauge. It holds 5+1. If you run the mini shells, it's 9+1, or maybe it's 8+1. But it will run the Aguila mini shells. Pretty much any pump action will run the mini shells. I asked somebody about it the other day at Guns and Leather, and not the Greenbrier one. This was Guns and Leather in Hendersonville, and he was saying that any pump action shotgun could run the Aguila mini shells without any kind of feeding issues. He said really the only feeding issues are on auto loaders. Whether that's true or not, I will find out because I bought some since they were selling some there at Hendersonville Guns and Leather. So I have few boxes, and I'm gonna run them in this and my 870 Marine Magnum. I'll probably do a review a little bit later on the Marine Magnum. But this right here, like I said, is probably the hottest selling gun right now in September 2017. And probably, you know, a few months after, I see these coming in and out of stores like candy. Guns and Leather Hendersonville, since I was just there, I think they said they ordered 20. And I think they're down to like 2 or 3 right now. Action is it's all, like I said, it's all Mossberg parts. So the action right now is smooth. We haven't put any oil or anything on it yet because we haven't shot it. But when we first got it, just running the action was a little tough, a little sticky. But after just manipulating it for so many turns, it's good to go. It's the action, the Mossberg 500. I don't know about the 590 has the same setup, but the action on the Mossberg to me isn't as smooth as the Remington 870. And whether you're a Mossberg guy or a Remington guy, you just let me know, because I'm sure you shot both. Whether it's been a Mossberg 500 or a Remington 870, but the Remington action just seems to be a little smoother, just by a little bit. And there's another shotgun Dad has, and I'm going to show you that is smoother than both of those. But that's a later video. That's neither here nor there. The attachments. All right, this is where I'm going to spend a lot of time because he's done so much to it. On the grip, he had a little grip tape put on, and it's made out of a company in Texas, and I can't remember the name of them. But basically, you just kind of stick that on how you want it. Take a hair dryer, just run across that, heat it up, and it'll stick pretty good. Yeah, it helps. You know, it's not, if you're one of those guys that takes a soldering iron and wants to stipple it, that's probably a good idea. If you want to stipple the duck head grip on the Mossberg, I'm sure there's a lot of people that have already done that or going to do that. Just trying to wear the new off of it. Also, we got the shell holder. I call it the saddle paddle. I think that's originally what it's called on the paperwork that we got when we put it in. To put it on, it's pretty simple. The instructions are very thorough. So if you want to add a shell holder to the side, I recommend. I'm pretty sure it's called the saddle paddle. And the instructions will take you through what you need to know. There's basically one screw in the receiver, which is that flat-headed screw right there. You basically have to place that with the one that comes with the kit, and then there's a pin right here, your trigger pin right here is pushed out by this hex-headed screw, and then the rest of it's pretty much self-explanatory. So Dad is one of those people that likes to drill and tap the rail, or put a rail on. He's one of those people. He's one of y'all out there that like to put rails on shotguns and put a laser or sight. The laser, I'm not sure what it is yet because I just have found it that he put it on here. But I don't know. Let me see if I can show you the pattern it shows. It's kind of hard to see. Let me turn the light off. But it's got it'll either pulsate like that or it'll be steady. But depending on how far away you are, it spreads out. The laser pattern, it's got like a spray pattern look to it, and it spreads out the further away you put it, and so it's almost imitating where your spray is going to hit. It's pretty nifty. I'll have to find out exactly what the laser, who makes it, and I'll post a comment below telling you exactly the make and model of the laser. But that is pretty nifty. I mean, if you were an intruder and saw that on your chest, you know, you'd probably be shitting yourself. But like I said, probably a great scenario for me would be putting it in my truck. I know you've seen, if you haven't seen, here's the case they're making for them. and it comes with a sling. It's, you know, it got that tactical look to it. But basically it's like a scabbard, more or less, like if you had a machete or something like that. And it just kind of fits right in there. Now with the laser and everything on it, might be a little different. And saddle paddle seems not to operate just right. It doesn't, yeah. I guess technically it's centered according to how the saddle paddle fits with the gun. But basically, it just sits right in there. And if, you know, like I said, truck gun, if you put it in between your seat and your console, if you were try to imitate this best I can, let me slide out here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but if you were driving along and you had this down here by your side in your gun, you know, in your car, and you was driving along, you know, that'd be a great truck gun to have right by your side, or somewhere. I'm sure you could find a spot to fit it. But great gun. I mean, for the price point, this is hard to beat. Remington has an 870 version, but a lot of people seem to be gravitating towards the Mossberg. But the Remington 870 TAC, I think is what it's called. Kind of the same deal, 14-inch barrel, duck-headed grip, but the pump action, the pump foregrip is actually a Magpul foregrip. So if you're a Magpul guy, you'll probably like that. Either way, this is the Mossberg Shockwave, and like I always say, do your research on your guns. Just know what you're getting into before you get into it, and hopefully I can give you some video of me shooting this and basically doing a shooting video in general. I know I've seen some comments where people have been wanting to see me do some shooting, so I'll see you on the next one.